I am a descendant of the Rhodes Sephardic community, which began on the island of Rhodes after the Spanish and Portuguese Inquisitions and was destroyed by the Nazis in the Holocaust. Looking for my ancestors and wanting to honor their memories, my journey led to the Jewish Cemetery of Rhodes. Chaim al-Hadef, my great-great-grandfather. Hanula Bero al-Hadef, my great-great-grandmother. Leah Hasson, my great-grandmother. Hasdai Hasson, my great-grandfather. Elia and Salvatore Hasson. Their wives, Elisa and Lucia, were my great-uncles and aunts. All were murdered at Auschwitz in 1944.
Dorme, mi alma doncella. Dorme, sin ansia y dolor. Dorme, sin ansia y dolor. Que tu esclavo que tanto desea.
This is the memorial for the 1,522 Jews from Rhodes who were murdered at Auschwitz. On July 23, 1944, the Nazis deported 1,673 Jews from Rhodes. 151 survived.
When I came to Rhodes in 1975 and I visited the Jewish cemetery and I saw the burial stones that were just neglected on the side of the old cemetery, I felt bad in my heart, but I didn't think I had any ability to change it because I was just visiting. I was only 22 years old at the time, and but it stuck in my mind, and I never forgot it. And that's why when I came back in 1995, I felt even more, I felt worse because it was still the same way I left it 20 years earlier. And that's why I kind of felt the need that somebody has to do something to give respect to our ancestors.
This aerial view of the Old Town, taken by the Italians in 1930, shows the proximity of La Juderia to the original cemetery location. Funeral processions of the Jewish community would exit the Old Town through La Puerta de la Ciudad gate and proceed to the original cemetery location a short distance away. The walls surrounding the Old Town were built by the Knights Hospitaller of St. John in 1309, adding to pre-existing Byzantine walls.
In 1937 and 1938, the Jewish community of Rhodes assigned two people, David and Nissim al-Hadef. They were first cousins. They were in charge of managing the movement of the bodies and tombstones from the old cemetery to the current location, which is 1.5 kilometers away, with a horse and carriage, and the carriage would hold 2 bodies at a time with their tombstone along with their rectangular box-shaped base, and brought over to the new cemetery.
This is the location of the old Jewish cemetery. The Italians wanted to use this land for a park. The park still resides on this land outside the walls of La Juderia. Those Jewish families who could afford to pay moved their deceased remains to the new cemetery location. Those that could not afford to pay, and those whose names were not remembered, were brought to the new cemetery in mass. Those gravestones were left in a corner of the new cemetery until restored and given honor in 1997. These restored gravestones are the oldest in the Jewish cemetery. The oldest gravestones uncovered so far are from the 14th to 15th centuries. At the crossroads between Europe, Asia, and Africa, Rhodes was a maritime power in classical history. Today, 125,000 people live on Rhodes. Beginning in 1523, the Ottoman Turks ruled Rhodes for almost 400 years. Sephardic Jews expelled by the Spanish and Portuguese Inquisitions were welcomed into the Ottoman Empire by Suleiman the Magnificent. He invited the Sephardic Jews to live in Rhodes. In 1912, Italy takes control of Rhodes from the Ottoman Turks, who had ruled in Rhodes since 1523. Rhodes has had many masters over its long history, each leaving its own legacy. The Italians saw Rhodes as a place to be developed as a tourist destination. The Knights Hospitaller of St. John ruled Rhodes from 1309 to 1522. Knights from France, Italy, Germany, England, and Spain used Rhodes as a base to Jerusalem in the name of the church. Daily life in La Juderia and Old Town Rhodes was captured by Italian newsreel footage in the 1920s and 1930s. The Greek community, the Turkish community, and the Jewish community all lived together in Rhodes when the Italians arrived. Within the walls of the Old Town, you would find mosques, churches, and synagogues.
Abre tu puerta cerrada.
The Sephardic Jews arrived in Rhodes and called it home for 500 years. The Jewish community's highest population is estimated at 5,000 to 6,000. Today, the number of Jews is about 40.
Yo demandí por la tu hermosura, como te la dio el Dios. La hermosura tuya es pura.
This is La Calle Ancha, the main street of La Juderia, with the old fountain. The old fountain was later replaced by the seahorse design that still exists today. Initially, the Italians brought positive improvements like electricity and running water to La Juderia. But in 1938, the Italians implemented anti-Jewish laws that caused great hardship and led to the demise of the Jewish community. By the end of the 1930s, about 2/3 of the Jews of Rhodes had left for North America, South America, Europe, and Africa. In 1911, Avram Cohen, my grandfather, left Rhodes and came to America at age 16. Avram returned to Rhodes a few years later and married my grandmother, Annie Bohora Hasson, in 1920. They left for America that same year. Hanula and Yaakov Cohen, Avram's parents, my great-grandparents. Leah and Hasdai Hasson, Behora's parents, my great-grandparents. This Hasson family photo was taken in 1926. It includes 6 of their 8 children. Also not pictured is daughter Marie Hasson, who was 5 years younger than Behora. Written on the back of the photo in Solitreo, a Sephardic cursive form of Hebrew, is written, "To my dear son-in-law and dear daughter, this photograph so you won't miss me so much. Farewell, your dear father, Hasdai." Behora and Avram first lived in New York, then moved to Los Angeles in 1928. They had 4 children, Catherine, Marco, Laura, and Harold. My mother's wedding day in 1947. My mother was 20 years old. Grandpa Avram died in 1959 at the age of 64. He is buried at Home of Peace Cemetery in East Los Angeles. In 1962, Behora traveled to Italy, Israel, and Greece. Behora traveled to Rhodes to honor her parents with a proper gravestone. This is the gravestone of Leah Al-Hadef Hasson. Also listed on the gravestone is Hasdai Hasson, 2 of their sons, Elia and Salvatore, their wives, Elisa and Lucia, who were all murdered in Auschwitz in 1944, 5 years after Leah died in Rhodes. Grandma Behora arranged for the gravestone that bears all of their names. Behora had the help of Maurice Soriano, president of the Jewish community of Rhodes. They had known each other growing up in Rhodes before Behora left for America. Mr. Soriano was among the 42 Jews from Rhodes who had received Turkish documents and were not deported to Auschwitz. My whole life I had heard stories about Rhodes. Now I was finally here. I brought with me a note from Grandma Behora asking Mr. Soriano to show me the home where she was born. First I visited the Kal Shalom synagogue and met the caretakers Lucia Modiano Sulam and her husband Moshe Sulam. Lucia was one of the 151 survivors of Auschwitz and the only one who came back to Rhodes to live. Moshe had escaped to the Turkish mainland and joined the Allied forces. Moshe and Lucia put me in touch with Mr. Soriano. Mr. Soriano took me to the home that my grandmother grew up in. Hasdai and Leah's home. We climbed the stairs, and Mr. Soriano introduced me to the Greek couple who were living there. They invited me in for a cup of Greek coffee. We sat in the kitchen. The kitchen where my grandmother learned how to cook. In 2007, my wife and I took a cruise with my mother and father to see where their parents were born. My mother had always dreamed of visiting Rhodes, the birthplace of her mother and father. The day we were in Rhodes was Yom Kippur. We attended services in the Kahal Shalom Synagogue, the oldest synagogue still in use in Greece. Behora's home was just up the street.
Amazing. Amazing. And I'm sorry I don't know the street where my father was born. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I'm a lucky lady.
I'm glad you got to see it.
You're a lucky lady because your mother left here and went to America.
Yes, I am. That makes me a lucky lady.
Cuidado por el raqui, no puedo yo dejarlo de beber nunca mi arte, de tanto amarlo. Cuando está en el barril, él no habla del todo. Cuando me hago yo candil, me hago baños de lodo. La vida do por el raqui, no puedo yo dejarlo de beber nunca mi arte, de tanto amarlo. El amo hace divorciar casamientos de oro. El amo hace pasar con risas y con lloros. Ya te lo canté a Guaro entera.
Durme, durme, mi alma doncella. Durme, durme, sin ansia y dolor. Durme, durme, sin ansia y dolor. Que tu esclavo que tanto desea ver tu sueño con grande amor, ver tu sueño con grande amor. Hay 2 años que sufre mi alma, por ti gioia mi linda gioia mi vinta d'amar. Dorme, dorme, mia alma doncella. Dorme, dorme, sinanzi ai dolor. Dorme, dorme, sinanzi ai dolor. Che tu sclavo che tanto desea ver tu sueño con grande amor, ver tu sueño con grande amor. Hay 2 años que sufre mi alma, por ti gioia mi vinta d'amar, por ti gioia mi vinta
Abre tu puerta cerrada, que en tu balcón luz no hay. El amor a ti te vela. Partemos, Rosa, partemos de aquí. Yo demandé por la tu hermosura, como te la dio el Dios. La hermosura tuya es pura, la merezco solo yo. Abre tu puerta cerrada, que en tu balcón luz no hay. El amor a ti te vela. Partemos, Rosa, partemos de aquí. Partemos, Rosa, partemos.